Hey y'all, I'm back. So let me tell you about this situation that I had a few days ago with this guy that I work with. First of all, this guy is, in my opinion, he's a loser who doesn't really have much going for himself. But he's a person that I talk to from time to time and I have casual, friendly conversations with. Beyond that, he and I are only work buddies or work acquaintances. He's not really a real friend, but he likes to refer to me as his friend. I think for the purposes of gassing my head up and thinking that he's going to be able to get something out of me. I have some other stories to share with you about him, but for now I'm going to save that for another video. This particular situation that I want to talk about, right after work, he and I were standing outside of the facility that we work in and talking, and one of the security guards came outside and was observing us talking, and he went back inside of the building, and then about 10 minutes later he came back out, and I was like, what's with you? Why do you keep coming back outside and looking at us talk? Is that your way of telling us to go home? The security started laughing. And then the guy who I was talking to, just to keep things simple, I'm going to call him Frank. So Frank is a Jamaican, a Black Jamaican. Frank said after the security started laughing, Frank says to this guy, "You messing things up for me, man. I was trying to see if I could get a free ride." The security guard and I said at the same time, "Free ride?" And I was like, what the fuck do you mean by that? I didn't even say anything else. I didn't really respond to him after that. I just said, it's time for me to go. And I left. And he was still trying to get my attention and talk to me as I was walking away through the parking lot to go back to my car and go home. But I just ignored him and kept walking. That shit really pissed me off, because for him to say he trying to get a free ride, and then I also recall him saying something else to the effect that everybody else wants you to pay for rides. So that had me thinking, okay, if everybody else has to pay, if you have to pay everybody else for rides, what make you think that you can get something for free from me? If you got to pay everybody else, then you got to pay me too. I don't get no fucking free rides. I have to pay bills just like everybody else. If I don't get no free ride, you don't get no damn free ride. There's not many things in this life that come free. Everything has a price attached to it, whether it be a price in terms of your time or a monetary value. So ain't no such thing as no free lunch. It's going to always be some stipulation, consequence, or price that has to be paid, or catch, so to speak. I can't stand these people that think that they're going to be able to get over on others, or abuse or take advantage of others' generosity, or take someone's kindness for weakness. Several years ago, I had this situation where I was leaving work, and this woman that I work with, she saw me leaving. This evening, the woman was taking the bus home, and it started to rain, and she saw me crossing the street to get to the parking lot to my car, and she followed me and flagged me down and asked me if she could get a ride with me. And I was like, yeah, come on. So I took this woman home, and it was out of my way, basically about a good 10 to 15 miles out of my way. And it took me about another extra 15, I would say 15 to 20 minutes to get home. And do you know, when I dropped this woman off, she didn't even offer any gas money. The amount of gas that I burnt really was negligible. Probably 50 cents worth of gas, I'm estimating. But it's just the principle that if someone takes you home, that's their time that they're giving up to give you a ride home. Time that I could have been at home relaxing, taking a shower, and watching TV or whatever. That's time that I could have been doing other things that I volunteered to give her a ride home. So I just think, out of courtesy and just as a show of respect and appreciation, she should have at least offered to pay gas money. So the following day, when I saw her at work, she kind of hinted to me that she wanted another ride home. So she says to me, she's a Haitian woman, and she says to me, okay, mommy, same thing again today, all right? Same thing again today. And when she said that, I knew exactly what she was getting at. So I was like, nah, ain't gonna be no same thing again today, mommy. And she said no, and I said no. It's not so much that I don't want to help people or assist people when they're in need. It's that I don't appreciate being taken advantage of, or people attempting to try and take advantage of my good nature and generosity. There's a saying that goes, when you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. And I find that to be very true. If a person sees that you're a good natured, generous person, or a person that tends to have empathy for others, they'll work that to their advantage and to your disadvantage more oftentimes than not. Getting back to what I was saying about how Frank likes to refer to me as his friend, it's the same thing. Some people use the term friend very loosely. A friendship is like a give and take type of relationship. It's a reciprocal relationship. If it's a one-sided thing where one person is benefiting a lot more than the other from the friendship, then that's not a friendship. That's basically it's not, in biology, there's a relationship between organisms called symbiosis. And in symbiosis, both parties in that relationship benefit in some way. But then there's also parasitic relationships where a parasite feeds off of a host. And most times in a parasitic relationship, the parasite is the one that stands to benefit more. So if one person is benefiting more in a quote friendship unquote relationship, then that person is essentially a parasite. They're taking more than they're giving. There's no reciprocity. But I say all of that to say that I believe that Frank, at his core, is really a parasitic type of person. He's an energy vampire and a user. And by him referring to me as a friend, he thinks that he's going to be able to somehow psychologically manipulate me into doing what he wants me to do. And I say today he got me completely fucked up. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. I may look like a simple and stupid person, but I'm a thinker. I'm a very cerebral person. And when I'm not talking, I'm making calculations in my mind and observations about people and the things that I see going on around me. So I already see his ass coming from miles away. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I believe that Frank is, just from some of the things that Frank says, I believe that he has a lot of disdain, a lot of animosity, and hatred towards women. I believe that he's a misogynist. I also think that he may practice misogynoir, hatred towards black women. And I'll probably talk about that in another video, but that's just my intuition telling me that. I don't have any empirical facts or evidence to substantiate my feelings about him. Is just a gut feeling. I distance myself from him. I try to keep our conversations mainly work related, and whenever he starts leaning towards negativity in his conversation, I usually quickly end those conversations and go about my way. But yeah, that's all I want to say in this video. Thank you.